You can't want an easy life and a strong character. The price of one is the other. That is a quote that I read a little while back, and in that moment, I didn't realize how impactful it would be much later on in my life. Because you've got to understand, like, all these people you see, them people that always have the perfect advice for every single situation. It doesn't matter what it is. They always have some words of wisdom. That's because they've went through a lot. And I'm not saying like you're getting beaten to your knees every single time, every single day, and you're questioning like your whole entire existence. I'm not saying that, but you do need to go through like a real rough patch where it is a test of character. And you do question like, am I gonna be able to keep going? Like, am I just gonna give up, you know, the gym, my job, this side hustle? You do need to go through that. And every failure, again, like, it's just the small things. Every failure teaches you something. That it could be at your 9 to 5. It really doesn't have to be some massive business venture, some £10 million business that, just liquidates. It doesn't have to be like that. And I've been through some times where I'm like, damn, like, this is really, really testing me. And in the moment, you just, you don't think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make it through. I'm gonna pull through this no matter what. You do question stuff like, shit, like, this is really, really difficult. But you get through it because that's just life. That's just how life works. And you got to take pride in that. I think a lot of people, they look at the bad times, the hard times, and they like, it's easy to see it as a negative, I know, because you'd much rather be going through life and every day just feels like a holiday. Yeah, all right, but you got to flip your mindset. I'm not saying just, like, be happy all the time. Oh yeah, my life is so difficult. Yeah, this is great. Like, I'm not gonna be able to pay my rent. My car's just been smashed up. I'm fat. Like, no, like, you don't have to be like that. But don't view every problem as the end of the world. View it as a challenge, because that's all it is. And you're not the only person to go through hard times. Again, a lot of people, I don't know if it's human or what, but a lot of people, they think they're the only person going through a rough patch. But you're not. Millions of people every day go through very difficult things, and I hate to say it, there's probably people that go through a lot tougher and more difficult situations than what you do, with a lot more riding on the line of it. Okay, like, especially parents as well, like, like, adults. When you're younger, I don't know, like, if it's just a generation thing, but I think a lot of people in my generation, they just take to social media and complain. And for me personally, I read some of these things, I'm like, really? Like, these are already, you're creating that big of a fuss over that. And the moment, like, you realize there's people out there, their whole entire life situation is pretty fucked, then it's like you look at your situation, like, I really don't have anything to complain about. If you wake up, you're healthy, all your limbs are working perfectly fine, you live in a house, you got a roof over your head, you're eating constantly, 3 meals a day, you don't really have any problems at all. But challenges exist, of course, especially with, day-to-day life, work life. Challenges do, you do face a lot of challenges. They do come your way on a daily basis, but that's all they are. They're just challenges. It's just a test of your character. It's easy to sit back and be like, oh yeah, like, I want it so bad, like, I'm willing to go through the mud for it. You know, I want to show up every single day no matter what. It's easy to sit back and say that, but like, especially when you're not facing anything, like, your life is pretty plain sailing and the grind is, no really challenges have presented themselves yet. But when the challenges do come through, that's when it's like, okay, like, let's see, like, you're doing all this talking, but let's see if you really want it, and you should take pride in that. That's what I was gonna get to. Is don't see all, every single problem and challenge and think it's the end of the world, because it's not. And when you're posting all this shit on social media, no one cares. Like, I promise you, like, I don't just say that to, like, like, try to be funny and cool. Like, genuinely, it's just life. No one gives a shit what you're going through. Maybe if you're going through something, like, very serious, but I'm talking day-to-day things. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that you're tired. Nobody cares that, like, the journey you're on isn't plain sailing. You're not really making progress. You're thinking of giving up. No one gives a shit. I promise you. Like, it is a bit peak, I know, but you gotta understand, man. Like, people have bigger problems going on. They got their own problems going on as well. And if you were to put your ideal person in, like, look at their life and their story, you're probably not gonna give them an easy life, because people, especially men, like men that are, born with a silver spoon in their mouth, I don't know, like, a lot of people, they have something against them. Jealousy, envy, maybe. But I don't know, like, most men that have had it easy, it's very obvious to see. A lot of them are just bitches. And they're just so out of touch with reality that you can't even bear to have a conversation with them. Like, from my experience anyway, from what I see, you wouldn't put them through a nice, easy time, because how are you meant to, how is this guy meant to teach his children, his family, his friends, if his life has just been plain sailing? Like, what do you tell someone, like, oh yeah, like, I'm really struggling right now, man. Like, nothing's really going my way. I'm feeling a bit down. I'm not really feeling like myself. Somebody that's just had it easy, like how are they gonna respond to that? But somebody that's really got it out of the mud and they're doing much better, they've made a success of themselves, they're the people that are wise, because they understand what you got to do on a daily basis to, just flip your life around and not be a victim of your situation. But guys, like, nothing worth having comes easy, and there really is no story and having a plain sailing life. Don't see every single challenge and problem as a negative, because everything you've went through right now, you probably wouldn't change, because you're 10 times the person than what you was before you started. But yeah, that's the video today, guys. I hope you can take something from it, because that's all I really want. And yeah, just stay tuned for the next one.